So tonight is the Q&A session. Yeah, for those who have not joined us before in the past, then sometimes I have a Q&A session. Last year was like every week on Saturday. But this time I don't think so. This time maybe 2 weeks or 3 week once. Huh? We'll see. Okay, now we start off with the Q&A, and there's a number of people devotees has sent up the question. Let me go through the question here. Okay. Okay, let's see. Now, last Tuesday during sitting, the body slowly bent down. Pain arose on the knee. When the forehead touched the floor, it moved forward until nose touched the floor. I noted it touch, cool, pain, and so on. After that, the lips became tighter, then followed by the eyes until the forehead. They too getting tighter, then mouth open with some sound came out like a monster. Suddenly, the body erected itself fast and straight. After a few minutes, the body bent down to the left knee, and then forehead touched to the floor. Pain arose on the knee. I just noted on them. The body bent down and forward, left or right during my sitting meditation since last year, end of October until now. So I'm not sure. 1. Am I doing correctly or not? 2. If the body bent down then didn't get up, can I make intention to get it up or just noted it until time's up? Bhante, please advise. Thank you. Okay. Now, for a number of yogis or meditators, they'll become to a certain time, sometimes for some yogis, there'll come to a time that the body feels like it wants to move. Yeah? It feels like it wants to move. Usually the advice is that we ask the yogis not to move. Okay? Now, sometimes the sensation, the pressure, or the pulling, or the tightness, or the whatever that is going through on your body, sometimes it felt like it's going to bend the body forward. Okay? It feels like it's going to bend the body forward. And certain times, some yogis, they flow with the so-called bending. It flows with it. Sometimes it moves forward. Sometimes the body moves to the side. Sometimes the body moves to the left or right. It tends to have those movement during sitting. So, what can you do about it? Now, if it happens per sitting, let's say one time or twice, then it's not a big problem per sitting. And it happens, let's say 2 or 3 sitting. After that, it doesn't happen anymore. It's okay. It's not too bad. It's okay. During this time, when the body is, let's say, it's moving a little bit, just note it. Just note it as bending, pressure, or tightness, or whatever that is going on with the body. Okay? Now, after 2 or 3 session of sitting, for example, if you are doing it at home, then there may be, you have maybe 2 or 3 session means that 2 or 3 days already. Okay? But for a yogi, in the retreat, then it's within like 2 or 3 hours or few hours. Then you take a note. You take a note, see whether after 2 or 3 sitting meditation, does the body still keep on moving or not? Does the body keep on moving, or it has already all those movement already subsided on their own. If they subsided on their own, then perfectly fine, and then just carry on. Okay, that is one thing. And the second thing is that the movement does not stop. The movement continue on after the third sitting or even the fourth sitting, and then you find that the body tends to bend and so on. Yeah? And now, during that time, you have to make a strong intention or a determination not to move the body. Yeah? And then during that time, you will see that the pressure or the pulling of the body becomes strong, becomes as if like it's going to crack you, bend you in so many ways. Yeah? So whatever that is happening during that time, you must take note of them as clearly as you can and not move the body. Yeah? Must not move the body. So if this has a slight bend and so on, it's still not a problem. But for example, like your case, that your head is already touching the floor, yeah, and that it's a bit too much already. Yeah? It's a bit too much. So if it just, as I said, it happened 1 or twice per sitting, it's not a problem. It happened 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 sittings, it's still not a problem. But it happens more than that, after the third sitting. So make sure that you already make an intention to stop it. Now, we have to make an intention to stop this movement, because if you don't stop this movement, then on the Monday we gave the talk on the 10 imperfection of insight, right? Now, one of the imperfection is the joy, because when you start moving the body, then that is where the pain of the body you don't feel the pain of it anymore, because the body is being moved, and therefore, some yogis, the movement becomes continuous. It's not just like one time you bend down, you stop there, and then after a while you come up again, then later you come back again. Maybe that one is not so continuous. But for some yogis, the movement, it becomes continuous. Like you begin to swing to the left, right, forward, backward, and then you sit down, you keep moving already. Then that time, one of the problem is that the more that you swing the body, because it somehow it distresses the body a lot. It moves the body, it distresses the body, and then not stress, de-stress, and then you feel the body is become lighter, nice, and so on. Then that is where you begin to delight into it. When you begin to delight into it, you want it to happen more, because this time you don't see any more pain. So that can be a big problem. Then everybody look at you meditating, you ding ding dang dang, ding ding dang dang here and there, 跳档 and then you keep on swaying and left and right and so on. And the problem is that when you sit at home, nobody look at you. You close up in your own room. You thought that is okay, but when you are in a retreat, that can be a big problem, because the swinging, the movement, everybody could able to see you. But of course, hopefully the teachers could able to help you, to stop you, to this, to make sure that you don't move again. So here is that to make sure that after a few this one, and then for your case, that one is since end of October, that is too long already. So make sure that from this time onwards, make sure that you make the intention, stop the body, don't let it move. And then whatever tension, whatever pulling, you just make sure you don't take note. You take note of it. You take note of it. Now, there are certain times the body may, once in a while, there may be the body may move a little bit. So as I said, it may not be a problem. So during that time, just note it as another object, bending. Now even your head is touching the floor, then touching. Then after that, it disappears, fine. Then go back to your rising, falling, or go back to your in-breath, out-breath, or whatever that you are doing earlier on. Okay, so make sure that you don't let it too long. It can go into a lot of other problems may arise. Okay? Okay. Right. Next question. Now that's next question. I grouped them together because, it's connected to the Monday's talk. Now, according to Bhante's talk about seeing light, the colors of bright lights are nimitta. Can Bhante please clarify? Okay. Now, 1. On the imperfections of insight, vipassana upakilesa is aura light illumination. Can Bhante kindly share further how a yogi can overcome or handle this light during meditation? Number 2. Will this light continue to appear in the fourth knowledge of arising and passing away and subsequent knowledges? Okay. Number 3, thank you Bhante for sharing with us the 16 insight knowledge. It serves as a guide for a yogi to know she is in the correct path, especially for 2 years already we can't go for retreat. 3. Next, my question, will a yogi experience this 16 insight knowledge as per sequence in Bhante's light, especially from the fourth knowledge of arising and passing away onwards? Okay. Now let's go back to the lights. For those who were not here on this Q&A on Monday, we were going through a little bit on the 10 imperfections of insight, because those imperfections of insight, they come as part of the development of vipassana meditation. All yogis will have to go through them, more or less, in one way or another, or one mode or another. Now, the first one of the 10 imperfections of insight is these lights. Now, many yogis definitely see some kind of lights and so on. They have seen some lights and so on. And some of us may see more light, some see less light, some see red light, some see blue light, some see rainbow light, some see shimmering light, some see like a mist type of lights. No. Right? So these are some of what the yogis see notice during in the vipassana meditation. Now all the 10 imperfections of insight. I don't know whether I have it here. Now, wait. Let me go back to this one. To the last. Where's my? Hold on. Let me show you a little bit on the file. Right. Imperfections of insight. Okay, let me share with you. Where's my Zoom? Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is something that we wrote about. Now you see there's number 1 to number 10. There's 10 imperfections of insight. Number 1 to number 9, those are not the problem. It's because of number 10, you delight in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it becomes a problem. In fact, if you have 1 to 9 in your meditation, and without the number 10, actually it's very good for you. Yeah, it's very good for you. You see, if you have lights arose in your meditation, then if you are not delighted into it, you are not expecting it, you do not try to push it away, neither you want it to be more, then you notice that during that time, if you have this light or aura illumination, your mind is not sleepy at all. It's bright. So it's helpful for your meditation because it is something to help you. You see, when your mind is bright, one of the things is that the effort, mental effort, is quite strong. It's quite good. You see, notice that when you have mental effort, you don't have sleepiness. And when of the mental effort it comes, part of it is like these lights also come together with it. Some yogis experience it, some yogis don't. And some yogis, you notice that while you are noticing the object of your noting, of your vipassana objects, and it's arising, passing away, changing, and so on, sometimes you may notice that behind it, it can be quite bright. Or your mind is quite bright while the object is changing or moving and so on. And that time you notice that the mind is not sleepy at all. And it can be helpful. But don't look for it now. It will come on its own for you. Don't worry. So this is number one. So the rest, for example, like joy, it also helps you to become, your body becomes quite easy, quite, just now earlier on, as I mentioned, there's no pain, as there's no tiredness, there's no lethargy on during in your meditation. But the problem is that when you get attached to it, that becomes a big problem. As I said, one of the problem of attachment to it, that the body starts to become moving and you swaying and so on. Sometimes some people, they don't sway, but they sit down there, they still start smiling. They're still laughing for no reason, and then everybody, because the whole place is silent, then suddenly you hear some people, some yogis laughing. So this is one of the problems. It can be a problem. So again, please, happiness, resolution, and so on, those are really helpful for your vipassana development. But if you are not careful, that is where the delight, the attachment, in other words, the craving comes together with it. And during that talk, I mentioned that now also, if you crave for it and you look for this type of things again and again, then from craving it springs to pride, it springs to conceit. From tanha becomes mana. Mana means you think that you are a great yogi. You think that you are better than others because you see the light. Others don't see the light. Because you can able to move the body, others cannot be able to move the body. You think that you can able to note your object very well. You can able to notice every object. You feel that you are a great yogi, and you compare to other people. You look left, you look right. You see other people keep on bending, sleepy, and so on. You think you're holy already. You're bright now, You think you're a great yogi. And then from there on, for some of this, if you are not careful, it springs up, becomes wrong view. Wrong view means that, for example, with the aura or lights, it springs up that you think that you already you believe that this is Nibbana already. You believe that this is Nibbana or this is jhana. If you are doing samatha meditation, there's also samatha upakilesa too, not just insight only. So it becomes, when it becomes a problem like wrong view, that you believe that this light is Nibbana, then you are overestimating your meditation practice, and then of course your pride and your conceit becomes even more stronger. And with that wrong view, of course, it's going to have a lot of negative, unwholesome mental karma is going to arise because it's a wrong view. So these things can wreak havoc if you don't cut it right from the beginning. So as I said, 1 to 9, they are not the problem. It's the number 10 that when they become a problem, then yes. Okay. Now, we go back to the question again. Okay. So, Hey, stop share. Wait. Go back here again, share. Hey, sorry. Stop sharing, sorry, huh? Wait. Go back to my Q&A, okay. Share. All right, you see the question, right? Okay. Now the question is that how you can able to overcome these lights, and okay, or manage the lights or the aura or the illumination. Now here is that first of all, when the light arises or the aura arises, sometimes you feel that the aura is feel like in the whole body, not just in the mind, but it kind of enveloping the whole body. And so sometimes not only just aura comes in, it comes together with the joy, it comes together with the pleasant feelings. Both of them can come together. It enhances your whole the feeling, when you are meditating. So during this time, what should you do? First is that you must not think that you are doing wrong. You are not doing wrong yet. These are, as I said, natural byproduct of a good meditation. In fact, if you don't meditate, you don't have all the joy and bliss and so on. No. This comes together with the meditation. So if you what you should do during this time is that you must not expect it to come, because expectation means delighting is there, craving is there. You must not want it to go away either. Okay? Don't reject it. If you reject it, you don't like it, that means behind it is already some degree of aversion. That means mind also has some degree of defilements. So when the lights arises, then you're aware of the lights. Now there are two things what you can do. Is the light prominent enough at this time? Now, if the light is prominent, then go to the light, and then this time start noting, seeing, or lights, or aura. And when you notice that, when it's prominent and it stays for some time, now take a look at how it changes. Sometimes the aura becomes small, becomes less. Sometimes it can move a little bit to the body. Sometimes as if it come back to the mind. Sometimes it expanded. Sometimes it contracted. Sometimes it become one pinpoint. Sometimes it disappear. If it disappear, it's not clear anymore. Then back to whatever your main object, your rising, falling, or your in-breath, out-breath, or whatever that you are doing. So during this time, if the object is prominent, if that aura is prominent, pay attention to it. See how it disappears. Sometimes it doesn't disappear. If it stays there for some time, then you find that it's not so, there's nothing much changing. Sometimes the light is just there only, and no activity, nothing, just there. Okay, after you notice some time, then bring back to your rising and falling again. Because if you stay there for too long and you don't start to note your object, then your mind your energy, your mindfulness starts to going to drop. And when you start dropping, that means the craving, the desire, the unwholesome state of mind will start going to come up if you are not careful. So the next thing is that if you see the lights, and then another object is more prominent. That means when you notice the rising and falling, or you notice some states of mind rising, passing away, and then you notice that beside it, the lights are there. And if it's not so prominent, if you know that it's there, if it's not so prominent, then just keep on noticing whatever that you are noting. Then it's perfectly all right. So these things, they change, they interchange. Sometimes for some yogis, the lights maybe become brighter, then it dim again, then another object become prominent. It just come and go. So until all the lights And then it kind of disappear, and then you just carry on with your job. Sometimes it doesn't disappear for the whole sitting, the next sitting, and the next sitting. Get used to it. As long as you don't attach to it, as long as you don't go and interpret it that this is something great, or this is some inside knowledge, or this is some nibbana and this and that, but then okay. If you don't go and interpret it so much. Now, a lot of us, sometimes we do not know about the development of the insight, and sometimes I know yogis tend to sit together, talk about their meditation insights and so on. Oh, I know that time I go retreat. Oh, I see this light, that light, red color, blue color, and then the rest of the other friends are sitting around it. Wow, so good. And then other person, and I go to the retreat also. I want to go and meditate. I want to go and see the light. The blind leads the blind and all these things. And then these things, a lot of things happen during, you just be careful when these things happens. So all, as I said, all because of that craving. He wants to attach to it. So this is how you handle it. So you make sure that you don't attach to those things. They are part of the vipassana thing. Will the light continue to appear in the fourth knowledge of arising and passing away? Now, this light, as I said, this is not a wholesome or unwholesome thing. It's just a natural process of the mind. It can even come for the Arahant also. Arahant also can experience bright lights also. But the Arahant doesn't attach to them. Even you are any above fourth knowledge, doesn't mean that it doesn't come. It still come. But if you're a Puthujjana, although you pass the fourth knowledge of arising and passing away, which is good, yes. But remember that that particular attachment for these type of things, still latent in you. Still latent in you. So be careful. Although you may not attach to it so much as before the fourth knowledge. Before that, there can be a lot of attachment towards this type of things. So after that, usually you don't have it. Not to say you don't have it, you don't attach to it, because the other objects are much more prominent than the lights. But nevertheless, it may still spring up here and there. Until one is Sotapanna, then one does not affected by all this imperfection anymore. Okay. The next thing is that will yogi experience 16 per sequence as well? No. This one, the 16 insight knowledge, for many yogis, they are not clear about them. Although they may be theoretically clear, that means they know all their insight by heart, because they have gone through so many talks already in the past. But when they actually experiencing them, the insights, those insights can be haphazard. There can be mixture here and there. And you really do not know whether you are in this insight or that insight. You agak-agak lah, you estimate yourself. Sometimes the yogis, they tend to do that. And that is actually, not to say it's no good, but sometimes they become too attached to their own achievement, or they think that they achieve a lot, but actually they are not going very far. Especially, like, for example, talking about the upakilesa thing, they can overestimate their practice. So this insight knowledge may not be very clear to many yogis. Now, there may be some insights may be clearer. Maybe first insight may be a bit clearer because it's a separation between mind and body. Yeah, fourth insight may be a bit clearer. Yes. But the rest of other insights, especially like after the fourth insight or the sixth or seventh insight, those can be very blurred, or you feel that things are not going very well, but actually you are doing it correctly, due to the nature of dukkha. So, but you are going through all the insights. It's just that your real experience and your theory may not coincide together. Yeah? It may not coincide, may not go ngam together, So my advice here is this. Although when we learn about these insights, and some yogis can see them much more clearer, some yogis may not see them that clearly. Now, for all of us, we should not be too attached to the theory. Although right now we talk about it, in the talks we talk about it, but don't too attach to the theory. The theory is to help you, to guide you, to give you a map for enlightenment. So don't just go and hold on to the map, then it's not but it's about moment to moment experiencing your object of your meditation. Then if you do that, then the progress will be swift and hopefully be clear to you. So you will go through all these 16 insight knowledge, but whether you know it or not, that will be whether you can able to theoretically and reality mix with it or not, that's another thing. Okay? All right. Next question. Next question, this is going to be a bit difficult for me to answer for tonight. Bhante, please explain what is Appana Viticita, absorption consciousness process. Okay, all right. Let's look at it for a little bit. Now, absorption process, a mental process, here it can be divided into two parts. When you experience Nibbana or realizing Nibbana, that's Lokuttara supramundane, or there is one called the jhana, which is the mundane. So the Nibbana, you have to go through the vipassana. The jhana, you have to go through the samatha. All right? Now, what happened during that time when you experience Nibbana or when you experiencing jhana? Now, I wasn't able to go through all this, each and different consciousness, because let me give you something first. Now, if you want to look into where I gave these talks, now here are I explain much more than what I can able to explain here for tonight, because it's going to be a lot. Now, during that time last year, more than 1 year already. This is 31st March. 31st March is, going to be a year. Now, last year when I talk about the Four Noble Truths, it's not just any Four Noble Truths. I go through a lot within the Four Noble Truths. Now, in the cessation of dukkha, the third Noble Truth, I talk about the path of purification. And during the path of purification, part 1, 2, and 3, this one I connected to when a person or when a yogi experiences Nibbana. How does a yogi enters Nibbana? What are the consciousness that you go through when you enter and you realize Nibbana? And then later part, how when you come out from it, what happened to the yogi again? Before, during, and after. Okay? This is one that. So if you want to go and look into these things, then go to this on this date, then there's so much more for you to talk about, to go through. Now, on the 31st of March, later part on the last year, now this one, the path leading to the cessation of dukkha. Now here, a yogi's approach on different kinds of samatha meditation and its jhana. We talk about more or less the 40 types of samatha meditation. We briefly go through that time. And then also, I talk about how the absorption process comes in. What are the consciousness that one go through? Then one experiences the jhana. Okay? So these are some of the things that perhaps you want to go through and how I elaborate on these type of things on the development, right? Now, just to give you to see a little bit, let me stop sharing here. And I go to the next slide, my next one. Let me show you where is the, yes. Okay, let me show you this one first. All right, okay. Okay, share screen. Okay, now last year on the February one, what you are, sorry, stop share. Hold on. Okay. All right. Can you see purification practice? Can what do you all see actually? Let me see who can. Lim Shu Fan. Are you seeing purification practice, right? Correct? If yes, you put a thumbs up. No. Oh, Sister Hunling, what do you see actually right now? Okay. All right. Good. All right. So since you all see, okay. Now, last year I was talking about this thing. Yeah? Purification. What do we mean by a purification, and how does those things are connected to the 16 insight knowledge? All right. This purification here at the Majjhima 24 Ratta Vinita Sutta, they explain the sutta, but in the commentary, they explain it further into different insight. And all these different insight, sometimes people thought that all these are just commentary, but actually all these things are connected back to the sutta. All right. Now, here this one, I expanded it more again further into the 18 principle insight. Right? Now the 18 principle insight is where, for example, let's say knowledge of discerning of mind and matter. In the knowledge of discerning of mind and matter, there are several insight inside it. There are several contemplation or several types of noting within just the first knowledge of the insight knowledge. So it's how we can expand the insight and to look into it in a many different ways. So this year, I talked about it last year. Yeah? Why is it called vision? What is path and not path? What is called a vision of the way? Those things I mentioned about it last year. Now, one of the things also I mentioned is that this one is the appana viti, appana viti chitta. All these things are like you see a V, A, M, P, R, A, C, C, N, C, H, P. Now, these are all the one consciousness after another consciousness that come and go in a stream, like in a stream like that, for example. When we look at it like in a stream, at the end of that enlightenment stream, then there will be path consciousness and two friction consciousness. So that's why you call Magga and Phala. Okay, so the Magga and Phala sits at the end of that process, of that mental process. Now, this mental process, I talk about it in the talk, but I wouldn't have the time to go through it. Okay, so this one is that like you have average faculty and a keen faculty. This one doesn't matter. What matter is that this how we can able to reach to the path and fruition also. So even we talk about in the Dhamma talk also, we talk about What happened before the VNA? Can you see the VNA? Vibrating bhavanga, arresting bhavanga. What happened before that? That is where what we call the triple gateway to liberation happens during that time. And then what a yogi will go through those things. And then after that, when you mature, this stream of consciousness arise and pass away, a special stream of consciousness arise, pass away, and then you see Nibbana. Okay, this is what I talked about last year for 3 talks. Yeah? So if you have the time, go through it if you want to. Okay, now we're going to go through this one for this subject. Okay, stop share. All right, let me share with you another one. Okay. Okay. Hey. Wait. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me go back to the screen sharing. Okay. Hey, how come it didn't come out? Wait. Wait. Okay, you have to go here. Okay, let me see. Let me try again. Hey, it doesn't want to come out. Oh, fun, this one. I don't know why it doesn't want to come out. There's another this one I want to show you. On jhana one. Just hold on, just hold on with me. Let me close this one first. Let me open this, and then this one I want to close. Okay, save and close. Save this one. Let me close this one. Let me open again. Okay. 来了. Wait. Hey. Now where's my... Now where is my... Yeah, now it come back. Yes. Can you all see right now? Insight leading and samatha jhana. Okay? Okay, good. Okay, all right, good. Can you see? You see here, just now we were talking about the earlier one, insight leading to emergence. And then here is the samatha jhana absorption process. It's something quite similar. It goes through a process, and then at the end there is a single jhana consciousness. It's a single jhana consciousness when you first time achieve it. Okay, so the green color one is the for a nibbana, and then the bottom one is for the jhana. Okay, now this is quite tedious for us to go through it because it's going to take a lot of time. I don't think I'd have the time for this one. So anyway, this talk was given on this one, as I talk about the samatha part. That one is on the 31st of March. Okay. Now here I talk about a little bit on other. I taken out from this Bhikkhu Bodhi's compendium of what? Abhidhamma Sangaha. Yeah. Then we talk about what type of jhana they have, what type of development, what type of everything. They got 40 subject of meditation. So anyway, you want to go through those things, then well, let me see. Okay, exit. Okay, let me close this thing so that it's easier to come out later part. Okay, now. Okay, can you see the question again? Okay, all right. So this one, as I said, you have to go through sorry. This one you have to go through the talk again to give you the clearer approach to how a process of enlightenment takes place. Okay, next one. One, is it possible to go into samatha jhana during vipassana meditation retreat? How do you know if you are experiencing jhana? Okay, all right. The answer is no. The answer is no. But how will it be? Now some people think yes one, Some people I don't know. There are quite many of them they think that like the Hokkien says bo hu he mun ho, you know what I mean? You think that you don't achieve your progress in your vipassana, or you think you can get jhana in samatha lah, There's no way. No way. Yeah? Now, let me stop this one. Now, when you are doing vipassana meditation, okay? When you're developing vipassana meditation, you are looking into mental and physical processes, and you note them again and again, repeatedly noting again and again. You notice them, you notice the pain, you notice everything, and so on and so forth. Okay? So with those things, if your mindfulness and your clarity of mind, your concentration, all those are fine-tuned towards vipassana development. So don't think that now you're going to have anything to do with samatha. If your mindfulness is alert and clear, all right? So this is one thing. You don't expect you plant a mango seed, suddenly you get apple coming out, You won't do that. When you develop that mind, the vipassana mind, we develop it after a while in such a way that the mental habits of noting to see things changing again and again, arising and passing away, therefore, it will be inclined towards that path. And therefore, at the end, if you develop it well and matured, then you're able to realize Nibbana. Now, there's no, in the meantime, there's no jhana and so on. Unless you drop off the vipassana, you want to go into samatha, that is a different thing. But if you are continuously in vipassana, then you weren't able to do that. Okay. That is quite ideal part of the yogi. But more often than not, what a yogi will go through is that the noting mind especially, is not always stable. That is to say, when it's not stable, that means especially when the mindfulness drops or the concentration drops or those noting mind becomes weak, other words, then there will be like defilements coming in, hindrances coming in, or even the 10 imperfections of insight that it may comes in, and then you can attach to them, those things. All right? So it is because that more often than not, as I said, the quality of the noting drops. Now, when the quality of that noting, when it drops, the object of the vipassana becomes not clear to you. That means Other words, earlier on you can see this rising, falling, in breath, out breath, quite clear, and they are continuous and so on. Fine. But when it drops, all these changes and so on become blur and then not clear. Sometimes your sloth and torpor comes in. But sometimes it's that you're just being peaceful inside there. Earlier on, your so-called vipassana objects are changing, but now it becomes quite calm. And say this type of calm is sometimes it's part of like your passaddhi, your tranquility. Just now we talked about the imperfection of insight. Now this time the passaddhi, the calmness, becomes a prominent object. And because it's calm, you don't put effort in noting it. You just rest. The mind just rests inside there. Then when the mind just rests inside there, you're not noting your object anymore. You're just being there only. And that is a very pleasant feeling. It's the experience, it's very enriching and very nice and so on. But it's all being pulled by that craving. You are just being pulled by that craving only, and you are not aware of it. And because of that, sometimes yogi thinks that they know that there's not nibbana, may still far away, but they perceive those things as jhana because it's pleasant. And they perceive those things as something very pleasant, very jhana. And they thought that from from vipassana meditation, they meditate, then they can go into samatha jhana. No? So this is one of the problem. This is one of the problem that yogi misunderstood the whole mental development. And it can be a problem. The problem can grow bigger when they start to teach others about all these stuff. Things you do all this vipassana, you get samatha jhana. All kinds of things So these are not samatha jhana. It's just imperfections of insight only. So when you do vipassana, you cannot end up in samatha. If your mind is so alert and clear, first of all, you cannot do samatha part of it. Because if you want to do samatha meditation also, your mind also must be in the tip-top condition. That means your balance of your faculties, of your 5 faculties, your mindfulness, your effort, your concentration, and so on, all also must be at the tip-top condition. It's not that when you are doing samatha, your faculties are not involved. No, your faculties are at that tip-top condition if you want to do samatha correctly. You want to do vipassana correctly, your 5 faculties also must be at a tip-top condition. So when you are in a tip-top condition, when you are at the optimum level, you know that when you are switching to a non-vipassana object, you are clear about it. For example, if that when you are going into thinking and so on, you know that this is not a vipassana object. You're already aware of it. How could you just suddenly, from a vipassana, when your mind is alert, then you change to a samatha thing? It's impossible. So too, when you are a samatha meditator, also the same thing. If you are doing the samatha correctly, clearly, and also you able to progress with the samatha, you cannot just go into vipassana unless you completely want to stop the samatha and you want to redevelop the vipassana, and then it's possible. But while you are doing samatha, then suddenly it change into vipassana. Tak boleh. Cannot. Just cannot. These are 2 different pathways. Although they are quite parallel, but they are different pathways. You cannot suka jump here, suka jump there. Cannot. So you cannot do like that. So it is impossible. All right? Okay, so Now, so you won't able to experience jhana if you are doing vipassana meditation. If you want to experience jhana, then you have to completely, as I said, drop your vipassana meditation. Your mental intent, your mental determination is to develop the samatha meditation. If you develop that samatha meditation, if your vipassana objects to come in, you have to put those vipassana objects aside. So your mind has to be alert. Now, of course, there are a lot of gray area. But this one is a very, very few yogis and far in between. Now, sometimes these yogis are both fluent in samatha and vipassana. Even if they are fluent in samatha and vipassana, they can change object quite fast. They can change from samatha to vipassana and vipassana to samatha quite fast because they are fluent in this two meditation part of it. Now, most people, you cannot do that. Most people cannot do that. So when they do that, they want to change from one samatha to vipassana or vipassana to samatha. The mind makes a clear determination. At that moment, if they drop the vipassana immediately, they take up the samatha immediately. The moment they drop here, they already bring up there. So all they do is just change meditation object. But the five faculties is at a tip-top condition. So they just cross it over very easy. To them, it's easy because they are fluent in both meditation. They are proficient in both meditation. For most people, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. So that one is a totally different case. Even with that case, they stop a certain meditation. They begin with another form of meditation, or they start off with samatha meditation. Immediately they drop the samatha meditation. They start a vipassana meditation. 5 minutes later, they want to go into samatha again. They drop the vipassana. They go in again, and they can do that. So for most people, you cannot do that. For most of the yogis, you cannot do that. Okay, all right. This is the thing. Now, is the fear arises only when we haven't heard about the spiritual insight knowledge and we have wrong views on the formation or objects occur? The practice of vipassana can quickly handle our mental suffering rather than our bodily suffering. Okay, let's look at number 1. Is fear arises when we don't hear about the spiritual insight knowledge? Now, when you talk about the fear, I guess that you may talk about the knowledge of fear, which is the 6th insight knowledge, the knowledge of fear. Now, this knowledge of fear, we're going to talk about it in the coming days, coming weeks. We're going to talk about that also. Now, the fear here is that it's not the fear of ghosts and the fear of this type of things. It's fear because that you see everything is very unstable. Nothing that you previously perceived before, like when you say, for example, you want you want something like your mood to be stable, but your mood is always changing. In its behind it is always changing, but we don't really know what is happening because we only see the front only. Now, only when you come into the knowledge of fear, then we see that every moment our mood is keep on changing, our feelings is keep on changing, our body is keep on changing. There's no stability, there's nothing to hold on. We thought that our body is strong and so on, but at that time, we see things are keep on changing, arises and passing away. Then that time, the type of fear is that there's nothing for you to hold on anymore. The mind is not a place for you to hold on. Even like your ideas and your ideas, your concept, your belief and whatever, all starts to arise and passes away. Then you know that whatever you think is nothing concrete. There's no stability in your thinking. There's no stability in your feelings. There's no stability in all your perception. Everything just goes into dissolution. That's why the fear arises. So because of that, we becomes like some yogis have a hard time go through this meditation. And this is part of the extension of the dukkha nupassana. On the notings on dukkha. It's an extension of dukkha. Okay? So it's not because you have wrong views. It's just because of throughout our samsara, we always perceive things to be stable. We want to find our soulmate life after life. We want to have a stability in everything. We want to have a stability in our economy, stability in our health, stability in everything. We hold on, whether you realize it or not, we hold on to those things mentally. But when everything is being shaken, is being dropped, is going to dissolution, especially when it comes to the knowledge of fear, then that time, sometimes the yogis have a hard time to go through them because their attachment to that stability is quite strong in them. Okay, all right. Second one. Can the practice of vipassana can quickly handle our mental suffering than the bodily suffering? Now here is hard to answer your question. Perhaps I may answer it in this way. If you are talking about the extreme type of mental suffering, extreme type over here, let me put it as like you're going through anxiety, or you're going through a depression, or you're going through some kind of grief and a difficult time, your mental health is being affected right now. Actually, mental suffering, So you are going through an extreme form of mental suffering. Now, when you're going through an extreme form of mental suffering, I do not recommend you to go and practice vipassana or any form of intensive form of meditation. You may do some very light form of meditation, more like mindfulness practice rather than a vipassana practice. Sometimes this mindfulness thing can be helpful, but you're not going deeper into noting this, noting that, noting pain, noting this. You don't go into that. If you go into that, it may enhance the suffering even more difficult. When you look at vipassana development, it's like as if like you're carrying weight, If your arm is already broken, how do you expect somebody going to carry the weights up further? You're going to have a more problem. So mental suffering also, extreme mental suffering, we don't recommend them to do vipassana. So if you're having depression and you ask me to teach you, I cannot do that. This is not my area. So this is the area of a very soft, gentle, and sometimes you also need somebody to guide you, even you're doing this, because you are going into the mind. There's some degree of injury. Mental injury is happening inside there. So you need some very light type of meditation, one of to help you to overcome that suffering. Now, if you have just normal everyday suffering or mental suffering, like you have a little bit of anger here and there, you go to work, you got stress, you got a family, you got a bit of stress here and there, and then you can still able to do vipassana. You still can do vipassana meditation. That is not big a problem. You got to have some greed issue. You have some anger issue. Sometimes this vipassana can quickly actually overcome the problem. But for some people, it may take some time. So different people again have a different tendency of the development. Huh? So it's not so easy just to suddenly turn into a new leaf, You're completely this one. Vipassana is not a cure-all thing. It's just a cure your defilements only. Now, bodily suffering on the Vipassana level, that again is even slower. A lot of times, sometimes we thought that we go through a Vipassana thing, and we can able to cure our cancer and all that thing. Although there are a few here and there, also actually far in between, that some yogis, they thought that Vipassana helps them. Because like in Dhamma Therapy, written by Mahasi Sayadaw, there's a number of cases are there. But there are only a number of cases, but imagine we got millions of, maybe got yogis or millions of meditators. How many of us able to cure our bodily suffering? So it may not be so fast, but at least it can help you to have a stable mental state, for you to able to accept all the different types of bodily suffering that you're going to go through. Rather than reject it, rather than get angry about it, then the mental acceptance is so much more there. And therefore, at least the Buddha says, you only have one arrow shooting at you only. Yeah? The one arrow is only to shoot your body only, not the second arrow doesn't shoot the mind. That's one sutta, I forgot what is the sutta. So when your mind is well developed, then you can handle the bodily suffering better. And if you have a mental suffering, you can overcome the mental suffering much more quicker than the bodily suffering. But if you have an extreme one, as I said, if you have a strong mental suffering, then it's not easy. If you have like cancer and the bodily suffering and so on, it's also not that easy. Don't expect that Vipassana is a cure-all thing. Talking about, since we are in this, I've met with yogis of the past, once or while in the twice. They come and practice Vipassana, and they're going through certain anger, certain cancer, And then after that, after some time, they overcome their cancer. Then good. Good for them. I mean, we're happy for them. But then, Vipassana also stopped there. No more. Because they use the Vipassana is just to overcome that bodily suffering. It's not to overcome all the defilements and realization of Nibbana. No, they're not doing they don't want that. And many people do that. Wrong objective. Wrong objective. Anyway, then we go to the next question. So it's going to be 10 o'clock. Okay, not too long. The question is long, but the answer is not too long. Am I right to say that we have no choice? None. After understanding the Dhamma, we must strive and strive, effort and more effort until Maggaphala, as we are still not in the samsara. I think it's samsara, not sasana. Wait. Everything else is really unimportant. We have to let go of all sensual delights and increase our threshold of suffering to face and take all the inevitable suffering, however painful. We have to develop come what may and die attitude. If we hang on in samsara, we actually will suffer more and worse. The unending sufferings. We have to suffer to end suffering. So ideally, we have to increase our adhitthana, resolve, determination, etc. and never quit, however painful and long. This is the path of the wise and noble. But we are on a different and varying levels of wisdom and capabilities. This is a very difficult and long journey. We have to work together, patiently, wisely, to develop our abilities. Now, how to reach such a high state of determination and motivation and maintaining it? Well, now I praise you for your motivation, but for maybe for some of you also may have this resolve that that you really want to get out of this samsara, and you want to attain the path and fruition, and so on, which is very noble, and hopefully that thing, that objective is very clear to you. Now, as you said that many of us has different capabilities, different understanding, different development, so it's not easy. We have to go through a lot of suffering. Yes, we have to go through a lot of suffering. That suffering, you see what type of suffering that you want to go through. If you want to go through all the worldly suffering, we want to go through all the worldly suffering and to get some worldly happiness, then the Buddha says that is not so wise. For example, we need to earn money, we need to have a job, a career, a business, and so on. We have a family, we have our mortgage, we have a rent, and everything. We still need to pay here and everything. So it's not so easy. We just to drop off everything. But there are some of us, a few of us, here in between, far and in between that is much more stronger. And finally, we have to drop off everything. Have to drop off everything. When you drop off everything, you go for that one goal. And all your other goals, you put everything aside. Worldliness, worldly things, and so on. You put everything all aside. Other words, come and join me. Be a monk or be a nun. Only one objective only. And thus you don't have to do any other thing. You don't have to worry about Dhamma talk or everything. No need. Just strive until you attain your realization. We will feed you, we will shelter you, we will clothe you. If you're sick, we give you medicine. We give you everything. Your job is just to meditate. And in here we have those things. We have meditation centers. We have you go to Burma, there are meditation centers. We go in Penang, we have MBMC. You go to KKP, we have Bodhiyarama, you have Kota Tinggi. We have these meditation centers. They open and they feed you, they clothe you, they'll give you clothing, they'll give you everything, whatever that you want. You want you to just to meditate on it. And they bring the teachers in to guide you also. So you have the opportunity is already there. But whether you want to take up that opportunity or the worldly pull is still strong in you. So it's up to you. The worldly pull for many of us is very, very strong. Many of us can say, must get off samsara here and there, But your neck, your arms, your legs, are all being chained, your mouth open, but your neck, everything all chained together. So you must really to break that chain, and you have to move on. So it's all part of you. Maybe I have something for you for tonight before we go. This one. The Dhamma is calling and I must go. You cannot stop anymore at that time. This I taken from something that I have it while every day I'm having my lunch. There's something I clip it on my whiteboard, but that one for the mountains. But this one I change it, the Dhamma is calling. When the Dhamma is calling you, you cannot sit still anymore. Your samvega, your what do you call that? Your sense of urgency is going to stir you. If you have to leave your job, you're going to leave your job. You're going to leave your family, you're going to leave your family. If you're going to leave everything else, you don't even worry about your health. So this is something. But here the person who asked maybe a bit, I think maybe 70 or 80s already. Although how much of aditana you have also, make sure that for those who are young, hopefully you all start from young. You see, most of you kui hui liao. See, look at all your faces, especially in Zoom faces. Most of you already 70, 80, 50s, 60s, Yes, as you grow older, as much as you can resolve one thing, but whether you can able to push through further or not, you need the body health also. For those young one, not just young at heart. I don't want to talk about those young at heart. Make sure that you are young. The younger ones, if you have that determination, hopefully one day you can able to journey further and really get out of this samsara. Yeah. Okay. So that's it for tonight. And we're going to have, the Dhamma talk again, we're going to start off on the Dukkha Nupassana. We continue on the Dukkha Nupassana on Monday night. Same time here. All right, let's go for the sharing of merits.